Hi, my name is Av Harris. I'm the Director of Communications for Connecticut Secretary of the State Denise Merrill. Before I worked for elected officials in government, I was a journalist for 10 years, covering mostly politics, a lot of that time spent in Connecticut, covering Connecticut politics. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about the role of the media in covering political campaigns, because it is a very important role. Basically, the job of the media is to inform you who watch television or listen to radio or read newspapers or get your news online. It's to inform you, the consumer of news, about who the candidates are, what they're saying, and what they stand for. Some of that could be looking into what accusations candidates have against the other candidates, or what their past records were, what they've done in their previous lives. All of that is important to political discussion. The other thing that's very important for a journalist to do is to try as hard as they can to be fair and objective in their coverage, especially when it comes to politics. I don't think it's possible for a human being to be completely objective, because we are humans and we are not made of stone. We do have emotions, and that also goes for journalists as well. Journalists have to look at the situation they're presented and make the best determination they can and explain what they're seeing as witnesses, basically, to the public who consume the news. The job of a journalist is not necessarily to come to conclusions, but to ask questions. Those who come to conclusions are much more in the opinion realm, the Rush Limbaughs of the world, if you will. Those who are opinionated, those who have a newspaper column and call for this action or that action. That's an opinion maker. But that's not what a journalist does. A journalist is supposed to look at information on both sides of a story and present as honest and fair a case as they can present. Now, when it comes to political campaigns, what you'll often find is that the media serves as a vehicle for each campaign to get its message out, sometimes about whatever issue it wants to talk about, sometimes about the other campaign. And the world of journalism is changing greatly in this way. There are fewer and fewer journalists who are obligated to cover more and more stories. And what that means is that there's less time for the kind of investigation of certain campaign allegations that there used to be. And a lot of times what journalists are doing is that they're setting aside the role of those who are investigating facts and really consuming their times more with the role of those who are getting out whatever message the campaign wants to get out. And in this case, we're seeing a lot of tit for tat, a lot of accusations being hurled from one side to the other without necessarily a lot of fact checking. It's the job of the media to inform you, the voter, about who these candidates are and what they're saying. It's actually your job, as somebody who's going to go vote for one person or the other, to take the information you're getting from the media and make your own conclusion as to who you think best represents you, or who you think whose vision is one that you agree with. Last thing I'll say is that there are so many more sources of information in the media than there used to be. And a lot of media is being catered to certain audiences. There are less and less people watching network news television now than there used to be. What that means is that more people are still getting their information, but they're getting it from the internet. They're getting it from talk radio. They're getting it from their own local newspaper or blog or website. So that makes your job as the voter a lot harder. That means you have to work much harder to get information that was readily available. And you have to really check your sources. You've got to see who this is coming from, and so that you don't just take somebody's word for granted. You've got to investigate to make sure that what they're saying is actually true. So there's more information out there. Not all of it is objective, and that means it's your job to analyze who these candidates are and who you think you should vote for. My name is Av Harris. I'm the Director of Communications for Connecticut Secretary of the State Denise Merrill. I hope I've enlightened you a little bit about the role of the media in covering political campaigns and elections. Thank you very much.